Get this, weekdays on the Triple M network and KOFM in Newcastle.
It's me, Tony Martin. It's that bloke here.
Yeah, morning.
What about Richard Marlsand?
Shanksy!
Armitage Shanks?
Yeah.
Is it sticking? Is it catching on in real life?
Well, I tell you, I've got an actual problem with my Armitage Shanks with my real toilet. So yeah, it's back. It's got a backup of Todd and Brandt proportions.
Hey, that sounds like Lawrence Leung. Give him a round.
Hello, good morning.
Lawrence, I'm sorry to have to do this to you, but in order to explain you to our Newcastle listeners, obviously comedian Lawrence Leung got a show on, but you're not on in Newcastle, are you?
No. In spirit perhaps, but not there, no. Maybe I should put some boots on, be a bit of a boot man.
Do that. Although, you've got a proper job.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, don't go to the steelworks and start dancing. Don't leave your comedic apprenticeship behind.
But I want to
Whatever that is.
dance.
No, you don't. You want to make jokes.
But I'm going to explain you as the bloke who can do the Rubik's Cube in how many 53 seconds?
53 is my fastest time, but I'm averaging about a minute 30 these days.
What's happened?
I haven't touched it for a while. I mean, the Rubik's Cube, that is.
Out of shape on the cube. You're not one of these people that you don't just take the stickers off and rearrange.
No, I take all the pieces apart and then I put it back together again in less than a minute 30. No, I actually can solve it. But it took me a long time. I think the first time I did it was about 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got that right down.
That's right.
So you've got that right down. I don't understand it. I reckon I could probably have that for the rest of the year and get no closer. Every time I think I've got one side, you flip it over and the other side's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's a metaphor for life, really, isn't it?
Yes. It was a bit of a difficult second album syndrome for Rubik too. He had the snake, that didn't really
Didn't
catch.
work.
He had the linking rings, not so good.
No, not
he had
gonna
the
work.
clocks.
Rubik's tetrahedron, that never
What was that?
rubbish. I don't know what it was. He didn't even know.
I never even saw that.
And where is he now? On the gear in an alley somewhere?
Hope so.
I think he's in Budapest. I'm still on the Rubik's Cube, I reckon.
Oh, Budapest.
That's where he's from.
Puzzle Central.
City limits. I don't know anything about Budapest. I just stared off at a tree when that started happening and enjoyed the wind dancing in its leaves.
And what about the show you're doing? So how does the Rubik's Cube form the basis for your show currently at the Melbourne Fringe Festival?
That's right. It's called Puzzle Boy, and it's basically about how I solve the Rubik's Cube, and basically it's also about girls.
Oh, yeah.
Running the metaphor there together, ramming the metaphors together,
Really?
trying to solve girls and trying to solve Rubik's Cube.
Ramming metaphors.
So you
Yes.
think you can solve the whole women deal in 53 seconds?
Oh, who can't?
Bang. 20 seconds of that involves shoes. I know that much. It all goes back to shoes, I'm
writing
told.
this down. I'm writing all this
Yes.
And-
Rubik's woman.
Well, what about, okay, so that's obviously a Fringe Festival show. What happens else? I mean, you can't just be doing the cube for... You managed to extrapolate this out into an entire metaphor for a show.
Yeah, I have actually. It also covers the love letters I used to write when I was in high school that I
that's
didn't
right.
send.
You've got to have more.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I think you mentioned them when you came in last. Have you brought one in?
I don't have one in, but I've memorized one because it's
That'll do
etched
nicely.
in my memory forever. Tell me
Alright,
what
let's
this
go.
means. I was 15 at the time. It was
Who's it to?
it's a girl called Amy.
She sounds hot.
Back off, she's mine.
No way. No
At
way.
least in my head. Okay, the letter was you found me in a Kinder Surprise.
Oh, no.
I was in pieces. You put me back together.
Oh, no.
Now share the chocolate with me. What the hell does that mean?
Did it work?
No.
Yeah, the chocolate. What? So what response did you get, if any?
I never sent it.
Why not? That's gold, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is I did send it a few years later to a competition that a cinema was having for Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann's movie.
Yeah.
And it was a sonnet competition. I came second and I didn't win the gold ring, but I won a signed poster by Baz Luhrmann.
Not bad.
Wow.
Not bad.
It's in the garage.
Wow.
Well, okay, not bad.
So I didn't get the girl, but I got a poster.
Any more? Do you know any more off by heart?
Not off by heart. Some of them are very long and they involve a lot of angst.
Was it all unrequited?
Unrequited, of course, is talking about people as if they were angels, and there's lots of metaphors about rain coming down.
Oh, right. Were you rating the Take That songbook?
Yes, I was.
Some of those ideas. And, did you ever post any of them? I mean...
I did once publish a comic. I drew a comic. This is terrible.
We've all done that.
Yes.
Have we?
I had a publishing comic empire going in
What do you
my
mean?
bedroom.
What do you mean? What were your comics?
I was, they were just additional issues of existing comics.
Oh,
That
right,
was
really?
very poor.
Like Superman. And
I had about 4. I had at least 2 of my stepbrothers and sisters working on new issues of Green Lantern. But hey, that's another whole show. So what happened?
Well, I published this comic when I was at uni. I kind of had a crush on the girl who was running for student president, so I decided to draw this whole cartoon about this guy who's in love with this girl who's going to be student president. And I published it in the school the student newspaper, and so there was like 40,000 issues published.
Wow.
And she worked out who it was about, and it worked out it was about me writing it.
How'd you go?
No dice.
Oh, no dice!
I couldn't understand why.
That hurt.
I drew a comic.
That's gotta hurt.
Most people just get drunk and bash someone in the pub.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's easier.
That's what Armitage does.
Shanksy.
Now, look, in case people are wondering about this whole Armitage Shanks deal.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, I know some of our listeners aren't too happy about it.
What?
Did you hear this bloke called up the other day?
Hello, Johnny.
G'day.
Now, what's been stolen from you?
Well, actually, you blokes stole my name, Armitage Shanks.
Now, do tell.
Well, I've got 2 close mates of mine, and all 3 of us have fake drinking names. And mine's Johnny Turbo. My other mate's Roland Garros.
That's good.
Yes, that is
The
good.
final one is Armitage Shanks, which he's ripped off. And we've had him for about a year.
Tell me something, Johnny. How does Armitage Shanks go with the ladies out of an evening?
Oh, he's a well-taken man, so he's not allowed. But Roland Garros goes all right.
Do you have any kind of alter egos or nicknames? Or?
My name's Lawrence Leung, and for many years people were calling me by a porn name, Lance Leung, or me Lance you Leung time. Ladies.
Yeah, that's a comic. There's a comic in that. Tell you what,
That's a superhero.
Right. Good
Yes.
times.
That's a bumper issue.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Glenn Richards, one of our listeners,
Glenn.
has sent us a fine email. He says, "G'day, guys. I was drunk at a party last Friday
Good
night.
for you.
And while breaking the seal, I realised I was urinating into an Armitage Shanks toilet. I wasn't all that impressed, as the name indicated it would be a deluxe toilet. But it was your stock standard shitter. I don't really think it's a fitting name for the windswept Richard Marlsand. I thought a more appropriate name would be one of them Japanese toilets that are covered in buttons and bells and whistles, which seems a more fitting name for the shock jock. You might even be able to program it to have Rex Hunt saying,
Oh, how good is this?
or even
Your body is a wonderland. He
to
didn't
make
suggest
him.
that.
He did. It's there. Look, he's provided sound effects inserts.
Wow.
Do it to me, man.
He's got his own running sheet for Richard.
He should have his own show.
This is a show right here. To make him more comfortable while blowing it up, check out the Wikipedia page. I know, I don't understand that bit. But it
Blowing
says,
it up, I don't get.
go to Wikipedia and type in toilets in Japan. And you'll see what I mean. I don't know. It's always dangerous when people tell us to go to a page on the internet and they say what's going to be there and you go there and often it's not. It's just like a big ass staring at you, saying sucked in Kavalee.
There's a lot of that on the internet.
Yes.
A lot of that. Google just bought that for $1 billion, that site.
What's going on? You know, Google have bought YouTube. Do you get onto the YouTube?
I've seen a few things on YouTube.
What's your favourite clip on YouTube?
The treadmills that this.
That is fantastic.
Okay, go. The
Okay,
band
go.
okay,
Yeah, they did a video clip where they acted in it. And in fact, they were dancing in it, and all they had was 4 treadmills, and they're dancing on these treadmills, and it's the most choreographed sequence I've ever seen.
It's genius.
It puts Solid Gold to shame.
It does. And that's not easy. And I think my favourite is Dancing Dog. It's this woman
you
doing
love that.
You're the One That I Want with a dog, doing the full routine. Sensational.
Nothing beats Little Superstar.
Oh, Little
you type in
Superstar.
Little Superstar, and it's a clip from a 1990 film from Chennai, and that's all I'll say. Unbelievable. I must have watched it 40 times.
So what does this mean? So now all these fantastic clips of people dancing in their bedroom and getting their cat to, jump into the sink.
Yeah. Cats and sinks. Yeah.
Cats in sinks. Someone owns them now.
Google owns them, I guess.
Google owns them.
Yeah.
So
if
how
you
do
want
they?
to put your cat in the sink, you've got to get written permission from Google.
So how is that like $5 billion worth? I mean, what will they put ads on the front of these clips?
Yeah. there'll be ads, and then all of the cats will have little Pepsi hats superimposed on their heads and stuff.
But surely
Money to be made, Tone.
the people who go to YouTube won't like that, and then a new pirate one will start up, and then the whole thing will start again from
and then
scratch.
they'll sell it for $1 billion.
Is that how it
We've
works?
got to get in on the ground floor, Tone.
Right, what have we got? What are we offering?
Shaft of Hope.
Shaft of
We got
Hope.
Shaft of Hope. We got 2 entries for that. That's piss weak.
Passiona High.
Passiona High
I'll talk
hasn't
about
even-
that later on.
Surely you guys can like sing to Nickelback or something in your undies in a bedroom somewhere.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I've got undies and a bedroom.
And that could lead to a $5 billion buyout from
Probably.
Google.
Now, thank you very much to our emailing homie Glenn Richards,
Yeah, he
who
was
says
good, that
there's
bloke.
going to be better names for Shanksy on the Wikipedia. I'm on there right now.
Yeah.
And from now on, Armitage Shanks, I shall be calling you either Washlet Zoe or Toto Neo Rest.
Because
Those are the names
these are
of
the
Japanese
Japanese.
toilets that he thinks are better than Armitage Shanks.
And these are the ones that you press the buttons and
38 buttons, a high-end wireless toilet control panel with 38 buttons.
Lawrence Leung, comedian Lawrence Leung, is with us today. Have you ever seen a toilet with 38 buttons?
38, but no, 36 perhaps. but
Oh,
not
yeah,
38.
yeah, no, that's so old school.
No.
Although there's some toilets around town where it looks like the TARDIS from Doctor Who, where you press the button at the front, people go in and they disappear.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good look.
That's true.
And is it tempting to go in and then come out in the full Doctor Who gear with the scarf and the hat and the coat?
It's really it's
See,
really
the kind
tempting.
of person that would be publishing comics in their bedroom would do that.
But don't. It'd be really tempting, but you would be the only one that found it funny.
Oh, really?
See what I mean? I would find it funny if I saw you go in there and
Yeah.
then come out in the thing. I would laugh, right? But I'd be the only one.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you come out dressed like Doctor Who, you look like a bum on St Kilda, really.
Or what about getting someone in a glamorous magician's assistant
Now we're talking.
kind of gear
Here we
to go
go.
in
Now
there,
we're talking.
and then send somebody else in, and then she's planted in there already?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure when you would do this.
No, but hang on. How does it work? I don't get the trick.
Well, then out comes the glamorous assistant.
Yeah.
And you've seen, maybe you've seen a dog go in there. Maybe you've sent your dog in.
Oh, that's
Something
good. That's funny.
Yeah, obviously, this is a meeting workshop situation.
Yes,
I haven't
yes.
really thought this through.
No, look, this is an idea shower.
Is this an idea shower?
Yeah, it's raining ideas in here.
Yeah,
right?
it should be on YouTube, that idea,
That's
I think.
a good idea. We could tube it. Now, listen. I've got an internet idea shower happening on my page. It used to be a conversation, right? Got a bit fruity. So now I've changed it to an internet idea shower, and I've got the first one. Scott from Sherwood. I've said, what's your idea? And he wants to have a sausage sizzle
On radio.
on radio.
Yeah.
Maybe at the table tennis tournament.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
A lot of ideas to get into the last couple of weeks of this show here.
I know. Don't.
You're going to be doing the table tennis tournament inside a canvas sack, wearing a caftan, while telling us all about David Copperfield's Fountain of Youth at this rate. So many segments behind.
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. Oh, hey, no, hang on, Tone. One more thing on the website, Passiona High.
Yeah.
The undiluted geniuses over at the IT department here at the M's.
Oh, they've done well,
They've
haven't
done
they?
so well. It's
Yes.
up. Passiona High. You can get on our web page, and you can. It's our new serial. It's
Yep.
our new teen drama, Lawrence.
Oh, very important.
And
to have.
people write in and tell us who a role they'd like in the show and who they want to play it. So far, I've given 3 suggestions. We've got Delivery Man 2, played by Gregory Medallions Fleet. You've got Swarthy Class Wag, played by Armitage Shanks. And then you've got Chairperson of Nerdy Meetings at Lunchtime in the Library, even on nice sunny days, Tony Martin.
That's me.
Hey,
That's
brilliant.
That's all we
So,
and
please.
Haven't we got Matthew Quartermain as the school thug Cabin Lodge?
Oh, that's true.
That's
That's
right.
true. He'll be up there.
And
yeah.
who did you? Who was you? What was Marlsand playing? The
Oh,
Swarthy.
Swarthy Class Wag, Armitage Shanks, but Armitage Shanks now is either going to be called Washlet Zoe or Toto Neo Rest.
This
Oh,
show's
wow.
getting confusing.
pressing all the
It's
wrong
your
buttons
choice.
on the
It's-
toilet.
Okay,
your
so
choice.
you've actually set this up. Now I
Yeah.
won't have to read out Brock Matheson's email.
All right.
Shocking horror, the master blaster of broken promises in Kavalee fails to deliver again.
Oh, is that right,
But
Barack?
that was before it went up on the website.
Bad luck, Barack. Try again.
What's going on in the real world? What's going on with
cares?
underwater, or is it underground nuclear explosions?
yeah.
Underwater
Yeah.
will be next.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kim Jong-il. I noticed this morning in the papers, he's saying, it's bigger than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the underground explosions. He's got a size problem, Kim Jong-un.
that's
He
his
wears
thing.
platform shoes.
I know he does.
He has a bouffant hair
Massive bouffant hair.
to make him look taller and distract the snipers.
Yeah.
And now, oh, don't worry, me nuclear explosion's bigger than it looks.
He's drives a massive car, that guy. See it. It's ridiculous.
200,000 Hollywood movies in his personal library.
Does he like Hollywood films?
Yeah.
Does it mention any Hollywood movies in the article?
Yeah, what's he?
No, it doesn't.
I'm desperate to know if he's got Son of the Mask.
Does he have Team America?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Does he have Team America World Police?
He'd have to have it. He'd have to be aware of it. Surely.
He plays it when he's so ronery.
I reckon that's what this whole, nuclear business is about.
Yeah.
It's working up to revenge on those South Park guys.
Stone and Parker.
They're the guys who should be worried.
Yes.
Okay, enough about we've covered international affairs.
That was good.
I guess it's time for radio's hottest new segment.
Oh, yeah.
Explain to Lawrence how this segment works.
Right, Lawrence.
Yes.
I get the magazine Chat, Real People, That's
Yes.
Life, Take 5, which are all full of real life stories. I then read out some of the headlines, but then I've also made up a couple myself. And I ask you a question. I give you the headline, and you say whether you believe it or not.
Okay, that's all we got
excellent.
time for.
All right, see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
And here's some blunt.
Yeah. Okay, Lawrence, you're first, okay? Mm-hmm. My fireman's hunk's hose was ripped off.
Believe it or not, is that
True.
It was true.
Yes.
Well done.
What?
Yeah, a fireman was playing footy and someone ripped off his penis,
true? Oh,
right?
that's illegal.
No, come on. And he caught it and held it on. Then they sewed it back on.
Oh.
And then he went on a first date with this girl. And he got to her door and said, listen, there's something you should see. and
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Was
one.
it first date?
First date. First
There's
date.
something you
even-
should see.
He wasn't even inside her house yet, and he's going, look, there's something you should see. It's shown his bits, and it's got a scar, but it works. He says, it works, and they've lived happily ever after.
Okay.
Now that's what you'd missed out on at uni. If you'd rocked up to class president and said, look, there's something I need to show you.
Yeah.
Show you. I'm Frankenstein. Yes.
It's off.
Franken penis, they call
Yes.
it.
It's back on.
Okay, here we go. Toto.
Yep.
Okay. Our parrot ate the computer.
That is true.
It is true.
What are you talking about? How can a parrot eat a computer? Nonsense.
Someone paid £2,000 from Macau from South America, and they got it home and had never seen a laptop before, and it ate it.
But a parrot's tiny beak.
It ate all the keys first,
All
right?
right.
And then got into the stuff, got into the computer stuff inside it.
Yeah.
And amazingly, it's still downloaded porn.
And there you go. Okay, here we go. Here's one for you, Tone.
Yeah.
Okay. Sexy lessons in the garden shed.
Sounds
Sexy
believable.
lessons in the garden shed.
So I'm saying it's Kavalee.
No, sir. True.
True. That was a trick.
What are these?
Unemployed shop assistant, 38, Karen something or another, decided that what she'd do is she'd start a pole dancing school at her house.
In her shed.
So she mocked up. She got a pole put in the shed, moved all the whippersnippers out the back, and away she went.
Wow. Will Warwick Kappa perform in a shed?
Is it? No, there's no grass. So yes.
Yeah, $3,000 he'll strip in your garage.
Yeah.
And I guess a shed with a pole, he'd be round there in a shot.
Tell you what, $250 in bus fee. You know.
Gee.
Okay, one more. This is back to you, Lawrence. Back to you. You ready?
I'm ready.
I won a Birdman rally by flying 50 metres.
False.
Oh, you're right. It's
No one has ever gone more than 2 feet in a Birdman rally. It doesn't matter how elaborate your
right.
raft is. You just go straight down.
Now, the reason I bring it up is because I'm sick and tired of the lack of Birdman rallies.
Oh, I know.
They used
Yeah.
to be on, when I was a kid, every single weekend, guaranteed there'd be a Birdman rally. And I haven't seen one for 10 years.
It's because you don't go any distance.
Where are they?
You can build an enormous Wright Brothers
Yeah.
glider,
Yeah.
and you won't go any further than the bloke with a bath towel around his neck and cereal boxes on his arms. There's no distance. No one's at 50 metres. No one gets further than you can just jump normally, no matter what they're wearing.
I love those guys who wear tinnies all around themselves.
Tinnies.
And they think they can fly.
All right.
Somebody hold a Birdman rally, please.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get round to it, clearly.
Well, you can maybe do it after your ping pong
Yeah.
competition.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna say something now. Here we go. Washlet Zoe, you're my witness for this. Lawrence, Gussy Woozy is too busy with the film, right?
Yes.
Can you step in to be the partner in crime with the torn wire, the table tennis torn wire, so we can get this bad boy happening?
Of course.
Done and dusted.
I'll throw it down.
There we go. He's throwing it down.
Wow. And I just think maybe too many nicknames on this show now. I have no idea what you just said.
I didn't know I was called Toto.
You're Toto Neo-Rest and or Washlet Zoe. It's your choice. No, you can choose. Do you want to be Washlet Zoe or Toto Neo-Rest?
I'll take Toto.
All right, Toto Neo-Rest it is.
Well, just to get a full bench happening, who have we got on the phone?
Is this Gussy Sampson?
Well, a lot of people are afraid to slag me face to face. They're talking about table tennis competitions.
Well,
How
Ed,
are you, Gussy?
Ed just seems to be upset that you're not going to be in here in time for his table tennis tournament, and
Yeah.
Lawrence has offered to step in.
Yeah.
Well, given Lawrence's cultural heritage, I'm not afraid to say that the last 9 inductees into the Table Tennis Hall of Fame have been of Chinese origin. Did you know that?
No, I didn't, Gussy. Well, good. No, thanks for showing me up, dude.
Ed actually looks frightened by that statistic.
Gussy, will you be able to make a little bit of time to join us?
Well, I do have today off, and I must say that I did get a couple of concerned phone calls to say you got to ring Tony and Ed. They are slagging you off and step into your Dunlop volleys.
No.
And
I'd never say a cross word about the volleys, Gussy. You know that. Come on.
I'm actually wearing a pair now. Tony,
Yeah.
do you have Dunlop volleys?
I reckon what you're really wearing is your costume from Where the Wild Things Are, and you're getting around in it on your day off.
I was actually thinking last night where we actually hit halfway yesterday. Yesterday was the halfway of this film that we're shooting. Thank you. And we're having a party this Friday night in Melbourne, and I was actually thinking it would be amusing if they did wear the costumes, whoever those people be are.
Can you describe the costumes to us?
They are the costumes of the Wild Things characters.
We've got nothing out of it.
We'll know which one you are, Gussy, because it'll be the only one wearing volleys in the film.
It's just going to look like another Bucks night in Melbourne.
Yeah. Basically, you'll see me glad wrapped to a telegraph pole at 4 a.m. this morning.
Oh, Gussy, lovely to hear your voice. So, all right, you're in. I didn't mean it, Guzz. I get a lot of flack for all the stuff that I say I'm going to do and I don't do. So I was clutching at straws. I should never... Nah, Gussy, come on. You, me and Lawrence, you in the volleys and the Wild Things costume. Lawrence and I dressed as Tony. It's going to be unreal. Lawrence Leung is with us.
He is indeed.
Hello.
Just want to clear up. Our panel operator's name is Richard Marlsand. Yes?
It was, yes.
When he's being an actor, we call him Armitage Shanks.
Yeah.
Glenn Richards has emailed in and said that that's not fancy enough when he's blowing it up. So he's directed me to the Wikipedia and Japanese toilets. And there I found a toilet called Toto Neo-Rest. Yeah. So from now on, Richard Marlsand will be known by me as Toto Neo-Rest.
It's got the word Toto in it, though.
Yeah.
In Africa is going to be triggered off every time he speaks.
Or the soundtrack for Dune.
Oh, yes, please. Lawrence, one other thing that you're involved in, you were a writer on The Chaser, were you not?
Yes, that's correct.
Great show.
That was an excellent show.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I hear the ABC made them do 26 shows when, because they do things by amounts now at the ABC.
That's the best way to do things.
They work out the amount they want, and then they try and fill, start with the round hole, then get the square. Am I getting onto my ABC road?
This is how it normally starts.
Yeah.
You go like, this is what happened, then you find a metaphor, and then you start naming folks, and then it all goes downhill from there.
I'll try not to mention Sandra
You have
Levy.
to have an old man voice when you do this, Ray.
I've got to get onto that.
All right,
but it's an excellent show, and well done to all involved, and it's out on DVD.
Good idea to get
we've just had a few... Here's a new challenge for you, Ed.
Here we go.
Daniel has said... well, the Melbourne Cup is coming up. Is that right? Is that horse race?
Yes, it is. Yep.
If you owned a racehorse, what would you call it? I'd call mine Little Hobbler.
Little Hobbler?
That's what Dan says. What would we... I think maybe I'd just call it All Me Plums!
All Me Plums.
Because then the guy would have to keep saying that. All Me Plums! All Me Plums! All Me Plums!
Yeah, All Me Plums.
Or what about just Got Him? That'd be a good name.
Where's me ointment?
See, that's good stuff that they have to shout out when it's going around the course. Faster, harder, ride me, big boy. If you had that as the name for your horse. It's octagonal, ethereal, Mackay Diva, faster, harder, ride me, big boy.
Coming up the rear.
Here's a good one. Right, or Mr. Percival. I like that as a name for a horse.
I know, the pelican from Storm Boy.
Yeah, but you get a big pelican bill and you put it on the front of the horse. I want to see a horse that looks like a pelican.
You don't think it'll slow it down at all, Tone?
Does it matter?
Would the jockey just have to wear no helmet, have long hair and a jumper?
He'd have to be dressed like the kid from Stormboy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All he wore was a jumper. A big woolly jumper.
I'd love to give my horse a wing keel because that did it for the
That's a good idea.
America's Cup.
Wing keel.
Yes.
And then we could bring out. Remember they had the wing keel skateboards? Remember the skateboards with wings? Yeah. I had one of those. Very, very painful things to fall on, Shanksy. I'm sorry, Neo Rest.
Oh, not the nicknames again. Let's get up the mountain. What are we doing today, Ed?
I don't know. What's going on?
Changing Richard's name. We're doing unacceptable party behaviour. I was out on the weekend with people I'm not allowed to mention, and they were getting slightly mobbed. Anyway, my friend turned around and said, "Listen, man, can we get out of here? Do you mind helping me get out of here?" I said, "No problem." And this girl was like, literally had hold of his arm and was going like, "Yeah, so hard, woo!" And I said, "Look, we've got to go. We've had a great time talking to you. We're off." And she went, "No, no." And she's holding one arm and I'm holding the other arm. And she's going, "He wants to go out with me. He wants to go out with me." I said,
really?
"He doesn't want to go out with you. He wants to leave." And so do I. So I'm very sorry, but we've got to go. So I sort of pull him away, and as we're walking off, she starts punching me in the back.
Oh.
Punching you in the back. And I know we're not supposed to talk about it. This is the Bachelor of the Year we're talking about.
Punched in the back.
Wow.
Punched in the back.
Don't
like
you
4
comment?
times.
That's unacceptable party behaviour.
So anyway, so that wasn't much fun, and that reminded me of another story years ago when I was at uni. I was at a house party, and they lived in this big house, and there was like a lovely sloping kind of like grass hill out the back. And people were looking things to slide down it on, and they tried to sit in
Fridge boxes.
No, they didn't have hadn't recently bought a fridge. They tried sitting in the wok,
The walk.
Christmas vacation style. Doesn't work as well as you'd hope.
Shitter's backed up.
Yeah, right. Shit is full, Tone.
Sorry.
Right. So anyway, they worked out that the smoothest surface in the house was the door of the microwave. So they just tried to rip it off.
Oh, yeah, but that would be so tiny.
I know.
Yeah,
The plan was to try and stand on it first, and then if that didn't work, to sit on it.
But how typical is that? People want to use the wok first, then no, we'll go to the microwave. That's just like cooking, really, in the share house.
Yeah, but we'll get down the mountain faster.
Yes, of
that
course.
was the idea. Unacceptable, but hilarious.
Unacceptable party behaviour. Got any, Lawrence?
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Andrew McClellan, who's a fellow comic, he was at a 21st where some of the liquor from the liquor cabinet went missing.
Oh, yeah.
So when the dad got home at the end of the party, he saw it missing, and he called everyone up in the entire 21st into a pseudo-police lineup and interrogated all the guests one by one. And it's like, "Dad, I hate you. You're the most embarrassing dad on earth."
How long would that take?
I don't know. It would have taken all night.
What a loser.
I don't know if they actually found the guy.
What, just because they drank his West Coast Coolers? Get over it, brother.
Unacceptable party behaviour. Well, I just reckon Jack Nicholson may have touched onto it.
What's he done?
All this talk about this chat up line he threw at Nicole Kidman at the Oscars.
What did he say?
He delivered what he described as a killer chat up line, but he says, "I do get rejected.
As if.
I still owe Nicole an apology. I didn't know she was engaged or that she was standing with her fiancé."
Yes.
She's standing right next to that urban bloke.
He looks a bit girly, though.
He refused to elaborate what he said, but it drew an audible gasp from Kidman. "Let's just say I'm getting older, but I haven't lost my sense of whimsy."
Yeah.
What could it have been?
Oh, some filth. It was filth.
"That's one tight and shiny forehead you've got there." I don't know.
So it's 13353. Start calling. Neo?
Unacceptable party behaviour.
Yeah.
When someone drives to a party at your house or just a few drinks and they've had too many drinks to drive home, so they've got to catch a cab home, but they've got to come and pick the car up the next day.
Yeah. Yes.
But if they don't come in and say hello before picking up their car, that's kind of cold and rude. Yeah, I mean, you should come in and say, "Thanks for last night, great fun."
That's true.
I'm just here to pick up my car.
True.
That's an etiquette.
Because you see the car out the front of your house, then you go and have a cup of tea, and then you come back and the car's gone, but no one's come in to say hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It's unacceptable.
That is really good.
That's not
Yeah.
That'd be a whole Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
Cue the drunken tuber.
I've actually done that. I've actually picked up my car and thought, should I go in? Oh, they're probably asleep still.
Yeah, that's good.
The other unacceptable one is if you crash at someone's. Okay, I was at this party once, and I was sort of. It was the end of the night, and we were all sort of crashing out, and I was sleeping on like this weird, those round wicker chairs.
Oh yeah.
They're not comfy to sleep in.
No,
right?
like on the Pablo Cruz album cover.
Well, if
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Public Cruise fans, that one was for you.
Go with me.
Or both of you. So I was sleeping in this thing, and I looked up, and then I noticed that there was quite a hefty crowd of people all watching the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And there were two people who decided to start making out in the bathroom, but they thought that the glass, it was like opaque or whatever, so people couldn't see, but you could. And they had the light on. So was it unacceptable for us to sit there and giggle like fools, or should someone have said something to them?
I don't know, but I saw it on YouTube. And I think it's acceptable.
And it's looking good. Right. 13353.
13353. Unacceptable party behaviour. Dovetail with what did Jack Nicholson say to Nicole Kidman?
Oh, good work.
Yes.
Tell us about the whimsy. Who have we got in, Kavalee?
Hello, Dale.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, sir. Your unacceptable party behaviour.
Oh, this is really, really unacceptable. I'll keep it as clean as possible.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
I have a mate of mine at a really exclusive 21st birthday decided that a self-inflicted enema with a garden hose on the front lawn would be acceptable.
A self-inflicted enema? Who was he trying to impress?
Well, he's a party favourite, so I think he was impressing everyone until the grandmother came up with her birthday present around the corner, and the first thing she saw in the front lawn was him.
And, okay, the hose is up there. Is the tap on?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Was it early on? How quickly did he just get there, pop his present down and go, right, better clean myself out? Or how long did it before he got into it?
Pretty much, he might have had a couple of drinks, but
wow.
It's funny how, like, every time we go out now, we'll be having a few drinks, and he'll go to the toilet and come back and see us, and he goes, "I've got to go, boys. I've got some bowel problems." He'll go home and have to change.
Dear, oh dear.
Wow. Oh, Dale, thank you.
Keep him away from the hose.
Thank you very much.
And does Dale want to have a crack at what do you reckon Jack Nicholson said to Nicole Kidman?
That's a good one. You caught me on the spot.
Want to pop out to the front lawn and see what this hose can do?
That'll be nice. Thank you, Dale.
You're reading my mind.
It's a top read.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Tom. Tom.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, hi, Tom.
How you going, buddy?
Good, man. Tell us, what's the other noise I can hear?
Oh, mate, just work.
Oh, sweet.
It's official business.
Nah, never mind about that.
Best ignored. What's your unacceptable party behaviour?
Mate, I've got this shocking mate. He rocks up to parties. He'll bring 2 beers with him. He'll come to the party. He'll drink 8, and then he'll ask for a couple of roadies on his way home.
Oh, and he's only brought 2 along.
What is that?
That's unacceptable.
What do you do about it, Tom?
Oh, mate, only because he's a really nice guy. Like, he rocks up and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hey, I'm here. And you're like, "Oh, yeah, g'day, mate." And you think, "Oh, hang on. Did we buy enough beer for this party?"
And is he bringing along, 2 stubbies, but with, the rest of the plastic, suggesting he's taken 4 out and kept them at home in the fridge?
He's a repeat offender, yeah.
That's not on.
Hose treatment for him.
Any idea what Jack Nicholson may have said, Tom?
Some. So, is the colour of your hair at your collar the same colour as the hair at your cuffs?
There you go.
I like the collars and cuffs. Okay,
Thank you, Tom.
Nice.
Hello, Bill. Bill?
Hi, guys.
Yeah, hey, man. What unacceptable party behaviour, sir?
Well, I was at a mate's party a couple of months ago, and we were having a great time. Woke up the next morning to find that somebody had cracked into his dad's Penfold Grange 1970 wine.
Oh, that'd be that bloke with the 2 beers on it.
And when you say cracked into, they drunk the whole thing with a straw, right?
No, they didn't even drink it. They just popped the cork into the bottle and didn't drink a drop.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Heartbreaking.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't have minded so much if they drunk the whole thing. But
Yeah. So obviously you would have had to finish that off.
we had a go, but the cork sitting in it overnight didn't taste too good.
Well, that's ugly. And what do you reckon Jack Nicholson said to Nicole Kidman?
I reckon he probably gave her the spiel about the toast from 5 Easy Pieces.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
Well done, Bill.
That is good.
Slightly exchanged,
Yeah.
Maybe not about toast.
And
Talking
wine
our
buffs.
language, Bill.
Any wine buffs out there, keep an eye out for the Grange Armitage coming soon
There
from
we
the
go.
Marlsand collection.
Hello, Julie.
Hello. Hello, boys. How you going?
Yeah, we're excellent. Tell me something unacceptable in the party behaviour stakes.
Well, I just want to make it clear this wasn't my party.
Well, now
It
it
was
has.
somebody
Now we all
else's.
think it is, so that's
Sure.
good. Yeah.
Well, it's not acceptable when you like leaving foreign stains all over
Yeah,
the lounge
yeah,
and the
yeah.
sheets and the things,
Yeah.
as well as leaving like used condoms laying
Yeah,
around.
see, that's
just
not
happening.
That's not cool.
Just doesn't happen. It's just not, no.
Unacceptable anywhere, really.
Well, yeah.
In a
Especially
pool
in
filter.
other people's houses. Hello?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people's houses.
Oh.
A pool filter. That's not cool. Come on, Tone. Why did you say that? No, I'm getting the blow
Just
for that.
contributing to the tapestry of fun.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you think Jack Nicholson said?
He maybe sort of said, did you do your own stunts on BMX Bandit?
Oh! That's actually a really good line.
It's a good question, too.
That's got a sense of whimsy about it.
She was wearing a kind of massive red helmet during that film. Curly
Mandatory.
helmet.
Mandatory.
Thank you. Ian, how are you?
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm excellent, sir. Unacceptable party behaviour, sir.
Mate of mine, it was back in my uni days. They all had a big party at this really majestic old mansion. They'd sort of rented it out for the night, and this guy found these really amazing these big curtain hanging things that that open and close the curtains.
Oh,
The pull things, ropes.
Yeah, I got it.
And he decided he's going to go for a swing on this curtain rope. And as he's sliding down the rope, he had neglected to notice that there were these wicked big hooks all there, and managed to get himself pretty badly hooked up in the Jets crackers. Yeah, kind of was left hanging there. I believe ambulances were called and everything. It was a bit of a downer on the night.
Hey, thanks for calling back, Ian. I know you tried to get that story onto Absolute Bollocks yesterday. Good on you. Well,
Thank you, Ian.
What
about Jack?
Oh, yeah.
What did he say?
I was thinking he probably went and said, "Would you like to fly over my cuckoo's nest?"
Hey, hello.
Thank you, everyone.
So I'd hate to imagine if all those things happened at one party.
Yeah.
Someone, honking onto your Grange Armitage,
Yeah.
swinging onto your curtain rods,
Wow.
leaving a few used condoms about. What was that first one? That was particularly ugly.
The hose up the bum.
Yeah,
routine.
hose up the bum. It's a lot to get in.
And if someone filmed that would be on YouTube.
It would be.
I'd watch it.
And Lawrence Leung, your show at the Melbourne Fringe Festival.
It's Marvellous Misadventures of Puzzle Boy.
Oh, you've got to have a look at that.
Great.
Bring along your cube.
Yeah.
And I think quite a few to choose from today. Ed, what was our key phrase?
I'm going to go with Toto Neo Rest.
Get this, weekdays on the Triple M network and KOFM in Newcastle.